Hello, friends. Hello, Blackburn fam, and welcome back to Simple Godly Living Homestead, Embracing Grace Farm. So today is Thursday, June 8th, 2023, and I just went from a disaster to an okay. So, if y'all have seen the last, I want to say 2 shorts, but it may be 3. So, if y'all have seen the last 2 to 3 shorts that I posted, I had got supper ready. Now, where is the, oh, okay, so this is our football roast. It's actually a shank from the deer. We did this, we butchered, processed, cleaned it, like everything, December 3rd, 2022. Well, I went ahead and had that thawed out, was completely ready, super excited, and was like, okay, it is officially time to cook. Y'all see, I did the onions, fresh chives from the garden, and my taters. It's in here. Well, it's been cooking and cooking for hours. I had it on high. I went to check because I'm like, okay, I should be making plates soon. And no, not done. So I started panicking, like, oh my goodness, it's going to be late. And here's my carrot juice, in case y'all are wondering. So I was just super, super upset. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I've been doing the pantry challenge. I cook homemade from scratch each and every single day. Breakfast, lunch, supper, dessert, snacks, you name it. I do not buy processed food. I do not buy cereals and stuff like that for my children. Anything from the grocery store that has EDTA, all capital letters, EDTA in it, I will not buy. It is deadly. It is poison, even the tiniest, tiniest amount. And so, all cereals have it. Pop-Tarts, all of that. And when I learned that, I was like, oh my goodness, now we started, reading the ingredients and everything. And I didn't buy too much from the grocery store because we have a homestead. So what comes off of our land that God has blessed us with and entrusted us with is literally what we cook with. However, there are some things that I was still getting from the store. And special little treats I would let my children pick out. And once I started learning all this, which was a while ago, I was like, oh no, no. So that's why you will see we don't eat any of that stuff. And another thing, we do not eat pork. I had a subscriber leave a comment, and it wasn't bad or anything. I loved his comment, actually. At first, I was a little confused because I'm like, wait, what I made in that video was not pork, and we do not eat pork anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, I grew up on pork. I love ham, bacon, scrapple, sausage, like, I love it all. However, we have not ate nor consumed pork, and I can't tell you how many years. And that's because God forbids us to. It is unclean. Now, yes, people are going to bring in the New Testament and say that, as long as you ask Jesus to bless it, he will. And that's not necessarily and inherently true. Jesus came and fulfilled the law. He did not do away with it, though. There are certain things that we don't have to do, like sacrifice and stuff like that. However, pork is still unclean. Anything that God says was unclean is still unclean today. That is a personal preference. I'm not going to get preachy, to each their own. If you eat pork, I'm not going to come after you with a pitchfork or, a crucifix or something like that. So I'm not saying that. If y'all eat pork, more power to you. That's just a personal preference for us that God personally convicted me and my husband for. So, like I said, it's no badness against anybody. But anyway, I loved the fact that he was preaching God's word and God's commandments. In today's world, that is very rare. So anyway, back to my story. I started freaking out that, supper's not done. I am exhausted and I still have a lot to do. I still have to make my husband's lunch. I still have to get everything ready for tomorrow, like homeschooling and everything else. And I did not want to have to be up late. And then I'm sitting there and I just look at my little daughter, my youngest, and I'm just like, you know what? And she goes, what, Mama? And I said, when life gives you lemons, you know what you do? She goes, no. I said, you make lemonade. And she goes, okay. And I said, do you know what that means? And she said, no, Mama. And I said, that means when life gives you problems, which is bound to happen, you take those problems and you grasp them and you turn it into something positive. What the enemy has meant for bad and destruction, God can use for good. And obviously, I'm not saying the enemy purposely did anything to my supper. That's just my own mishap or my crock pot. I don't know. But I'm going to make it positive. So, in here is some delicious soup. Thank God for canning. In this, it is smoked turkey, white and wild rice. I have corn in it, celery, carrots. I have fresh chives, fresh onions, all that deliciousness in here. It is very filling. My youngest did not want that, so she's getting leftovers, which is perfect because I'm not having any wastefulness, nor do I have to throw anything away. This is my seasoned chicken, my homemade mashed potatoes, and my homemade carrots. I make a brown sugar glazed carrot. Absolutely delicious. So, that is what we were having for supper tonight on the homestead. And then I'm going to put some of my homemade gravy on this for her. And then I wanted to make grilled cheeses too. So that is what we're having. So when you look at day 151 for supper, it is not in fact the roast. This is what we're having. And that's okay, because this means this is actually a blessing, because now all I have to do is make breakfast and lunch and snacks and stuff for tomorrow, but I will not have to cook supper because supper will already be cooked in the crock pot. I'm going to let it cook overnight and all that. And then I have this big pot right here because we are going to make homemade Rice Krispie treats for dessert. So that is what we're having for supper for day 151 of the Three Rivers Pantry Challenge. Thank y'all for being with us and for listening to my rant and rave. It happens. That's life. But I love you all. God bless and stay tuned.